I want to make an environment for you. It will surround you or be above you. I want it to be physical for people, so they usually do get big. I think the last big custom job we did was at the Museum of Natural History in New York City, and the piece was 250 feet long, and it meandered. It's permanent. It meanders into an immersive art theater. We're sort of known for the curves and the complications and the lighting that goes inside them, and things that have developed along the years. I mean, the whole thing about Transformit is that as an artist in grad school in Boston, I started doing performance art and big sculptures, so I needed help. So everybody that works here has worked probably over 20 years for me, right? Yeah. So we're sort of like family. These are rentals that I've developed probably for at least 30 years. Then they were so hungry for what I did is I put together collections every year and introduce them into the event industry. So on the website we have what we call ready-mades, and you can change your environment with different shapes. There's like 90 different shapes. I don't think it's very complicated, but then you have the custom, which is mostly for museums and architecture. I mean, and then you have the custom of what I do and some art commissions that I do. So it all mingles for me. There's never a cutoff for me as far as being creative. It's the same process in here, in a way, because I like to have my story with my art. You have to have a story. I was the only child. We lived in a rural setting, and I was outdoors all the time, so I'd always find these things, put things together, and draw. Nobody told you not to. It's just that when I got a little bit older, I was kind of a bad kid in school, and I always had to sit in the principal's office. I made this sculpture, and that's when you used airplane glue, and you could do toothpicks, and it was really, really big, and all my friends were sitting around me, and all contributed to this sculpture, and then I said, yeah, you put a lighter to it, it'll just blow up, and I did, and the teacher said, you'll never come back to this class again, so I couldn't take art after that. But my mom said at 16, she bribed me. She says, you need to go to modeling school. And I went, modeling school? She says, you can drive my Lincoln Continental to Indianapolis to go to modeling school. I was 16. I said, you got it. They taught you how to put on makeup and do all these crazy things. And then they had a fashion show, and I kept drawing I always drew things. And they said, do you want to decorate the fashion show? And I said, yeah. So it sort of like got me in my head, well, this is fun. This is fun to make environments. So I just pick up a book and go like, oh, interior design. I bet I could do that, And there was this college, Colorado State University, and I applied, and I got in by the skin of my teeth. I was so all over the place. I needed a focus. And it was a semester before you had to have a portfolio to get into the art department. And they said, do you want to be an artist? I said, I want to be an artist. And if that doesn't work out, I'll be a jock, because I was captain of my basketball team. That's how my mind thought. And then I got into the art world that way, and they had a little list of, you get your little tackle box and all your little parts and these big pieces of paper and stuff I'd never seen in my life, And the first class is a figure drawing class. And I go in and go, wow, there's a guy nude for 3 hours. I didn't draw at all. And then things progressed, and I liked it. It was a little hard because I didn't know the lingo, and I was behind. I didn't shine until I was a senior. And then all of a sudden it was there. I think things were on my side because I could have gone the other way with a lot of things. And then things just started clicking. I started having fun, and I wasn't getting into trouble. And here I am with Transformit. I kind of wondered about working for other people in the beginning, and then because of what I did, I mean, all the things I started doing in grad school, I needed other people to be with me. I could not do anything by myself. And then I went, oh my God, this is so much fun. This is so much fun working with people. I'm not in my studio banging around, and eating beans out of a can. I don't think I could have done it unless I had taught high school for 7 years. I don't think I could do what I do now if I hadn't taught, because I never talked. I was silent all through undergrad. And then when I had my first teaching job, all these high school kids, and I was like, oh my God, all I did was yell at them. Stop it. Sit down. I taught clay. I taught 150 kids went through my classroom a week, right? Stop it. And they're all bigger than me. I was like, oh my God. And then after about a couple of months of not getting anywhere, and I just said, I'll just move my desk out of the front of the room, put it in the middle, and start building a big fat clay pot for them. And just letting them see what I do, and quit at just not talking for a minute. It worked. And then I loved it. So I realized that you had to be a little bit of an entertainer. I did the main festival, and I would do certain things around Portland. Every once in a while, I'd change the room. So I went to this trade show in San Francisco, and these people came up and said, do you rent? And I said, yes. And the person that was helping me said, what are we renting? I said, you're renting me and my 20 pieces of art, and to change people's spaces. So we went back and made a price list. 2 things cost you this, and 3 things cost you that. And then I realized, people like what I do, so I started to make collections like my star drops and my moon rays. And then, I had to hire somebody, and then somebody said, well, maybe you should have payroll, and then I had to hire somebody else to do that. And then you keep hiring people to do things. But you have to go out and get the job. And then things change too. I mean, the ability to do things, the technical things, LED lights, different kinds of fabric, different ways of doing things, and different wants and needs. I mean, our clients have pushed us. Like, can you do this? Yes. Yes, you always say yes. I think everything's possible because I'm 75, and the things that people didn't think was possible when I was 20 are totally possible now. And most of those things I didn't think that, even though I thought, oh wow, how am I going to do it? The technology has made it happen, say in the next couple of years. So it's anything's really possible for people to do. And it's much more fun to be positive. It is a drag the other way. I think that you should not worry about if your piece is good enough or if it's good. And you can take criticism, but don't let it destroy you. I mean, I cried in critiques in art school. I will never do critique in my whole life again. I mean, I taught art school. I think it destroys art. I mean, I don't think you're going to get a good feeling. You're not going to get the art to flow. I can't. Stiff art is not good art. Now, I don't know if I could explain stiff art, but it doesn't seem. You know it when you see it, and it's too maybe contrived, maybe not from the heart. Maybe the person's gotten too scared about what some people think. So it's delicate with anybody to tell them how to do things. It's a delicate process. I'm a Leo through and through. I mean, I love to be out and get in the limelight. And my daughter is not. And she goes, Mom, be quiet. And I think that there's a special place in the world for a Thoreau. I think there's a special place in the world for people that are more private with their art. It will eventually probably get known. But that's the special thing about them. I'm not that. I just not that. But I do have friends that I drag along with me, and they go like, oh no, what are we doing now? Do we have to go in there? I would never try to talk anybody into being different than they are. I think it's good that people are private. I mean, there's a certain part of me, down my basement in Cumberland, there's certain things that I do that I don't want anybody to see right now. But if you're going to be public, you have to be, you got to have some enjoyment with it. It can't be forced. I've seen being public forced on people that are not public, and they're not happy. And I think that if you had everybody like me, it would be a mess. And if you had everybody that was very private, it would be not very interesting. So I wouldn't try to encourage people to do what I do. I mean, most of my employees are going like, they go like, oh, what is Cindy doing now? You know, they work on all these really beautiful things, and some of them are really shy. And it should be theirs to be shy, and not want to have Cindy drag them someplace. And don't you think that people that are private, and when you get a little piece of them, then it's sort of like you don't want to tell anybody else. It's sort of like a little jewel you have of that person. I'm not that, but I think of that way, that you have that person was a really quiet, wonderful artist, and I have a piece of their work.